Selfie!
Shh, you think she's still awake?
Don't worry.
The Lexus RX, built for modern families.
Get 1.9% APR financing on the 2022 RX 350.
Come on!
You've never seen anything like this before.
After I got out of the Marine Corps, coming back home, it was just a mental breakdown for me. I was on the verge of giving up. That chapter, that season in my life was over. Now what? Who was I? That's what I kept asking myself. The pressure to have it all together, to heal, to quiet down the monsters inside, it was too much. I lost it. I had heard about the Wounded Warrior Project. I had seen the logo and that visual of a warrior carrying another warrior. The programs that the Wounded Warrior Project offers, it's not just the veteran themselves, it's their whole family. It brings it all together. We have scars that we carry, and just because the scars are there doesn't mean that we're any less than what we were. Right now, I'm the best version that I ever have been of myself. I can embrace the brokenness.
You wouldn't go into battle alone. You don't have to fight this alone. Visit woundedwarriorproject.org/notalone.
Shenzhen, southern China. Over 12 million people live here. A megacity with more giant skyscrapers than any other mainland Chinese city. July 25th, 2020. A city resident looks up and is shocked to see a mysterious cluster of luminous colors high in the night sky.
Oh, that is creepy.
There's no other planets or stars in the sky. It just makes them stand out so much.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Beaming in shades of yellow, red, and blue, and gathering across the dark, cloudy sky.
It looks like there's light actually coming down from above the cloud. What can possibly be up there?
Those look like they're not from this world.
Shocked people stare agog at this unsettling display.
I wouldn't want to be underneath that at all. Do these lights mean trouble for the city?
The Chinese people have a long and fabled history of looking into the night sky and looking for beings outside of our planet.
Some 4,500 years ago, the legendary Yellow Emperor Huangdi was alleged to have communicated with the heavens, which some people today interpret as communicating with extraterrestrials, with aliens.
These close encounters still happen in China today. In 2010, an entire airport is closed in Hangzhou after pilots, passengers, and people on the ground spot a huge weird light over the city. The strange display seen over Shenzhen is no alien craft, but it does remind astronomers of a lethal deep space explosion that could look something like this if viewed through Earth's atmosphere. One of the brightest and most powerful explosions in the universe, a supernova.
It's when some of the most massive stars, some 15 million times...
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
...and implode in on themselves in about 15 seconds. That's so fast it causes a shockwave to rip the outer parts of the star out and explode violently into space. This explosion is seen as a bright ringed light like we're seeing here.
But these must happen at incredible distances from Earth. Could we see them with the naked eye?
Actually, there are recorded events in history where you can see them with the naked eye. For instance, SN 1604, Kepler's supernova, that was visible during the day.
Chinese astronomers recorded this supernova in 1604, when a star in the constellation Ophiuchus violently exploded.
So could something like this be dangerous to us?
Oh, absolutely. A supernova that happens too close to the Earth could bombard us with gamma rays that could irradiate our planet. We're talking about being exposed to high levels of radiation on the ground, potentially changing the chemical composition of our atmosphere,
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
And 25 times the mass of our sun, went supernova 2.5 million years ago, coinciding with a mass extinction event on our planet.
But the lights come with no shockwave, ruling out a celestial blast.
One possible explanation for these lights in the sky is a rare atmospheric phenomenon called light pillars.
Light pillars are vertical beams of light that appear in the sky under very specific weather conditions. The effect is created when an intense light source close to the ground shines up into the sky. In cold environments, ice crystals suspended in low-lying clouds act like tiny mirrors, bouncing the light back toward the ground, creating the appearance of pillars of light high in the atmosphere. When viewed from directly below, they can appear as bright dots of light in the sky. But this footage is shot at the height of summer in a subtropical city.
If this is an instance of light pillars, then it's truly bizarre. Shenzhen is far too warm, especially in July, where it's 90 degrees, for ice crystals to form in the lower atmosphere.
Dr. Tracy Fanara thinks the mysterious light show could be evidence of an extremely rare weather event.
The hot climate of this city in July leads me to think that what we may be witnessing is an even rarer phenomenon called warm night light pillars. They form in conditions that are even more particular than the regular light pillars.
Warm night light pillars are formed high up in the atmosphere, where temperatures remain below freezing, and reflective ice crystals form even at the height of summer. But to see warm night light pillars, you need clear skies and no wind to disperse the ice crystals away.
It's incredibly rare to have all of these
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
right place on the ground to view these lights.
These lights are reflections of the light pollution down below. The city lights reach up to the troposphere, 5 miles above. Many of the skyscrapers are decorated with millions of LED lights, turning each tower into a giant light show. But medical experts are alarmed that Shenzhen's spectacular lights make the city's pollution levels 12 times higher than is safe.
Light pollution can affect the normal biochemical rhythms of humans. A recent study demonstrated that light pollution can be linked to diabetes, obesity, even heart disease.
What we're seeing in this clip is urban lights interacting with the natural environment. It's a dazzling atmospheric light show, but it could be one that's bad for your health.
Trouble in the sky over a city?
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
The strongest cyclone in 30 years smashes directly into a major metropolitan area.
Trees are coming down.
We were then effectively trapped.
A monsoon kills over 100 people and leaves almost 1 million more homeless.
A lot of people were just kind of stood with a sense of shock and awe.
And a massive fire burns for 4 months, creating the costliest natural disaster in Canadian history.
There was 40-foot walls of fire. This thing was a beast. It was living, it was breathing, it was moving, it was eating.
World's wildest weather. Catastrophic events caught on camera by those who were in the middle of them.
Call 911!
Our expert meteorologists explain the science behind this extreme weather and show us why it's so dangerous. Fort McMurray, Canada. Situated in northeast Alberta, this remote community of 80,000 is surrounded by forests. James O'Reilly and his wife Candace have called it home for 20 years.
This location we live in has many things I really like. Bears and deers and coyotes and everything come walking by our house. I can hit the trees within 2 minutes and be hiking for hours. But in the springtime, I'm a little bit nervous. The conditions change a lot. It's that time before the foliage starts coming out that I'm nervous about fires.
Wildfires are common in this part of Canada. They allow the forest ecosystems to stay healthy. Fort McMurray employs 150 firefighters
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Mark Stevenson is one of them.
We get fires every spring, generally did different scales. It could be a small one that we put out in a couple of minutes to something a little bit larger, but if anyone sees a wisp of smoke, they're calling the fire department and we're investigating right away.
Springtime 2016. It's unseasonably warm and dry in Fort McMurray, with temperatures reaching into the 80s.
The warm weather caused a lot of the deadfall and stuff in the bush to be excessively dry. We didn't have a lot of snow that winter, so there wasn't a lot of moisture in the ground to begin with. So we're anticipating a bad bushfire season.
Meteorologists believe the dry conditions are caused in part by a weather pattern known as an omega block, so named as it resembles the uppercase Greek letter omega.
It's basically a ridge of high pressure that sits over the area and really blocks storm systems that bring in precipitation from coming into that part of Canada. That meant a mild, relatively dry winter, which in turn meant we had some problems come springtime.
By April 30th, wildfires are springing up on the edge of the city. Firefighters seem to have the situation under control.
Sunday evening after supper, my family and I were taking a walk.
We happened to notice a little wisp of smoke down by the dump in the south direction that way.
It was just a tiny little wisp of smoke at the time, so it was no concern, but it was definitely noted.
Three days later, on May 3rd, fires are continuing to burn just outside the Fort McMurray firefighters' territory.
It was a normal day. You know, I got up in the morning, my wife kissed me goodbye, said goodbye to my kids, and, off to work I went with my lunch and my workout gear. We did our training in the morning.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
We happened to notice, looking west near the dump, those new smoke piles every couple minutes getting closer and closer to the city. It seemed like the fire was taking great big steps. And then once we found out that the fire had jumped the river on the north side of town, that made it real.
With 3 areas of the town now on fire, Mark and his team know they must act immediately.
The little wisp of smoke I saw Sunday evening that I thought nothing of the time ended up to be the beginning of 2016 wildfires, one they call the Beast.
As the fire spreads to neighborhoods across the city, Fort McMurray's residents have no idea the devastation that lies ahead. It's 2015, and the United Kingdom is experiencing its wettest December ever. Numerous storms drop twice as much rain as normal, leaving much of northern England underwater.
For meteorologists who had to forecast across northern England during that time, it was just relentless. It was really an exhausting season for them. Britain was really in the firing line for these deep areas of low pressure, which spawned across the Atlantic and just moved up towards the UK, one after the other. So we saw a number of storms in quick succession with each other, and it caused quite a bit of localized flooding. And leading up to Christmas, there was a bit of a break in the action, and we thought, thank goodness for that.
But the reprieve won't last long. Hebden Bridge, West Yorkshire, England. Home to around 4,500 people, this quaint market town lies in the upper...
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Lying on the banks of 2 rivers and a canal, water levels here are constantly monitored because of possible flooding. Ed Chadwick has lived here for 9 years. He owns a gallery in the center of town, and he's very aware of the flood risks.
Living in a place like Hebden Bridge, where there's always inevitably going to be that potential for flooding, is something that you just have to live with, but it is always in the back of your mind.
As Christmas approaches and the rain continues falling, Ed keeps an eye on the weather.
I remember when I was closing up on the Christmas Eve, I actually physically went across the road, looked at the river and thought, it's about 1 metre up on normal. Fingers crossed it'll be all right. And so we went off as normal to enjoy the Christmas season.
However, Storm Eva has arrived from the Atlantic Ocean. Ireland has already been battered by 85-mile-per-hour winds. Britain's meteorological office is predicting up to 5 inches of rainfall. It has issued a red weather warning, meaning the storm has the potential to cause danger to life or widespread destruction.
We could see that the rain was going to last for quite some time. And not only that, the land was just so saturated. It didn't need a single drop more of rainfall for the entire season. So as Eva pushed in, you could see that there was trouble ahead.
And as Boxing Day dawns, Hebden Bridge bears the brunt of Storm Eva, and residents across the town awaken to a spooky sound.
One of the assets that is used in the Upper Calder Valley is flood warning sirens. They're particularly useful because in certain situations where flash flooding is imminent, they can alert a community at the push of a button.
One resident alerted. A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
We went outside, out the back door, and lo and behold, there's the river. Really high, really churning away. It just felt really dangerous and made you feel really insignificant. I got myself a GoPro for Christmas, so I decided to grab the GoPro and document it.
The rampaging river quickly swamps the town.
Just seemed to be water everywhere. And then we saw a freezer floating by in the distance, and just could not believe what we're seeing. What on earth is that?
Kids can change minds. They can even change the world around us. Packed with protein plus 21 vitamins and minerals, we nourish them with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. Because today could change everything.
I'm game day ready. Let's do this.
Oh, you see that here?
Oh my God.
Of all the things that made Scrooge count, he most disliked running and striding about. Until he discovered the Peloton tread. Sprinting and lifting sweat dripped from his head. His legs sang out like a Christmas choir. This grunt was #on fire. Now Scrooge ran the holidays, no doubt. When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out.
Arm & Hammer Clean and Simple Detergent is inspired by you. Because when it comes to doing what's best for your family, you're on it. And so is Clean and Simple, with ingredients that are safer for your family.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Real fruit and whole grains. Doing something good for yourself has never been this easy. Just do what's delicious. Kellogg's Special K.
The ride of your life is closer than you think. For the first time ever, buy your new car entirely from home with Nissan at Home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway.
We see you. That's why we designed our new number 7 Pure Retinol range, informed by 15 years of scientific research to target the appearance of dark spots, wrinkles, and boost radiance, and formulated to be gentler to skin.
If you have a typical airline credit card, you're not getting double miles on every purchase.
You're right. I only get extra miles on some types of purchases.
May I?
Please.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles everywhere. Yes.
Everywhere is great, but where can we use them?
You can use them on any travel purchase, not just some travel purchases.
Venture get a gold star.
What's in your wallet?
I'm Mike Corey. I carve a path for those who aren't afraid to leave the trail.
Let's jump in.
Away we go!
You've never seen anything like this before.
Wow, how is this a real place?
Adventure level, very high. It looks incredible and you're not gonna want to miss it.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area. It's 2015 and the day after Christmas in England, a holiday known as Boxing Day. This winter, twice as much rainfall as normal has saturated the ground. Much of northern England is underwater, including Hebden Bridge, West Yorkshire. Frenzied waters have quickly flooded downtown.
We walked down the road and the apprehension, the worry was just, it was really quite awful. And as we approached, the river had diverted onto the road outside the gallery, and it was like a raging torrent. We just looked across and thought, how are we going to get across there? So we kind of clung onto each other and waded across.
Ed begins moving the artwork to a higher part of the gallery.
It was just kind of all hands to pumps, really. We just had to move everything. And at that point, the river level is constantly rising outside. I'm kind of checking on it, I'm watching it. The water just started bubbling up through the floor in either corner. And at that point, we just realized there was no way we were going to hold it out of the front. It had just found its way in. And in 20 minutes, it was up to the top step on the stairs here. The sense that you were in this glass box that was filling up with water, it was very scary. About midday, we managed to move everything. We couldn't do anything else. We just had to leave it.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
We need to go and check on home, really.
By 1 p.m., much of Hebden Bridge's town center is underwater. Most roads along the valley are impassable. As Ed approaches his house, he realizes he can go no further.
The water level, it was at least 6 feet deep. And so we just knew that our lower space and all the things that we have in there, there was no saving. There was no getting across to even have a look.
Ed has no idea when he'll be able to return home or what he'll find when he does. Darwin, the Northern Territory, Australia. On Christmas Day, 1974, the city was hit by Cyclone Tracy, a Category 4 storm with winds over 125 miles per hour.
Cyclone Tracy was a very significant storm, and it's one that stuck in the Australian psyche. It destroyed a capital city, and it precipitated the largest peacetime evacuation in Australia's history, and it's really shocked the nation.
Cyclone Tracy reduced 85% of the city to rubble and killed over 70 people. It's still considered to be the most destructive.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
In the years that followed, Darwin's buildings were rebuilt to withstand future cyclones. But the city's residents were left with indelible memories.
The mark and the legacy of Tracy is such that the city does become on edge whenever there are cyclones around. In the blink of an eye, they can go from relatively benign Category 1 systems to very strong city-killing Category 5s.
March 2018. A cyclone is forming in a similar area to Tracy. Warnings are issued to Darwin's residents. That leaves Aaron Kling, his partner Connor McBride, and their young family with a decision to make.
The expectation the day before was that it was going to be a Category 1 and it might be just basically nothing more than a big storm with a lot of rain. We know that this house is probably pretty structurally sound. It's made of brick, so we decided to stay here.
I was feeling apprehensive, but we'd been through a cyclone before and we felt confident that we could make it through.
However, Aaron and Connor leave nothing to chance.
We started getting a bit of a cyclone plan together. I started charging my torches and our phones and things.
I'd been to the supermarket and bought some non-perishables, made sure that we had clean clothes, so if there were power outages and such, we would have a few days provision.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Tropical Cyclone Marcus is forecast to hit Darwin as a Category 1 in the early evening of March 17th. But before its arrival, it changes course.
Usually when cyclones interact with land and cross land, they're cut off from their ocean supply of energy and they begin to decay. But this didn't happen with Marcus. As a quirk of fate, it crossed through a water channel. It sort of threaded the needle between the Tiwi Islands and the Coburg Peninsula. And as such, it enjoyed an energetic path on its way to Darwin.
Marcus's new route across the sea requires meteorologists to change their forecasts.
It became apparent that the cyclone was stronger than we were anticipating. So lo and behold, when Darwin awoke on the morning, they found themselves presented with a Category 2 system rather than the Category 1.
How can trash be turned into handbags? And can feeding cows seaweed help change the world? If you have questions about the climate, rely on the most trusted name in television, the Weather Channel and its innovative pattern climate team. Together, we can start to make sense of the most important issue facing our future every day on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 53 degrees with rainy conditions. A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area. Tonight, windy with thunderstorms early. Low 39. Winds west at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Sunday, mostly cloudy. High 51. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday night, cloudy with occasional showers late at night. Low 40. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Nicorette knows quitting smoking is freaking hard. You get advice like, try hypnosis, or quit cold turkey.
Kidding me?
Instead, start small with Nicorette, which can lead to something big. Start stopping with Nicorette.
New Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades are engineered for extreme weather performance. With advanced Quad-Tech 4-layer coated silicone that lasts 2 times longer than other blades and endures everything you put them through. Only at Walmart.
Ideas are nothing until we make them real. Even the best ideas take passion, perseverance, and determination.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Prepared to what we imagine for the future. Harness the power of dreams.
Mom, I can't find Mr. Quaggo.
Mom's in York mode right now.